Hi guys, happy Monday. Hope everyone had a great week. I wanted to talk today about gratitude and gratefulness. The intro was my horse, Starbuck. I absolutely love that picture. It was me sitting on our front porch, and just the sun was right, and I don't know, just the colors of the vines looked really pretty. But it got me to thinking about gratitude and gratefulness, and especially this time of year with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. And so while I was just kind of walking around outside, and I was standing by the fence and I was watching the horse graze and just feeling full of, gratitude. It got me to thinking about that whole thing and about Thanksgiving. So I just want to say that having a metaphysical store and being pagan and having those customers, friends that I know who are pagan, or other, define, however you want to call yourself, have, and I'm going to use pagan, have them not being able to be out with their spiritual path because of friends or family, especially maybe even coworkers, your job, and all of that. And I respect all of that, of course. I mean, we have to work, and you cannot work in a place that would discriminate against you and maybe even go so far as to find a way to let you go, not by saying, oh, we're letting you go because you're pagan, but they would find a way. I mean, they would make your life so miserable that you would probably end up quitting. Or your family, those that don't want to be shunned. We love our family, and so we want to be part of that whole thing. We don't want to hurt our family or upset our family or whatever. And I totally get all that. I do, in a sense. But I'm out. I'm completely out, and I have been for years and years, as I've said in past videos. And it feels really, really good. However, so at this time of year, what's really strange to me is when I have folks come into the store and just hear them. It's a struggle for them because maybe they have children, and so they're going to do the customary things that children are learning in school right now, which is all about Thanksgiving. And of course, they're learning about Thanksgiving based on the history books that most of us raised to understand about Thanksgiving. And it's really not until you get into adulthood or you really start pursuing the studies of Thanksgiving and how it all took place, because it really wasn't about Thanksgiving. It was really a very sad, hard time. I'm sorry, my shirt it's got a little itchy collar. And so it wasn't really, like this great time to be grateful for. I mean, truly, if you look back into the actual history of it. But sadly, in our society, the schools teach history and it's great, let's all be grateful, and our kids are learning that, and of course that tradition has been passed down to us, etc., and was passed down to them from, I'm sure, their parents, ancestors, whatever, because that is what we learned. And so the thing that really has been going through my mind today is that because of these traditions that are made up, Thanksgiving, I mean, we have to be closed on Thanksgiving. It's a holiday, and I've never really understood the Thanksgiving holiday, to be quite honest with you. I really, truly have never understood it. I don't understand it. This is a time to be with family. Well, so is today. So was yesterday. So is any day of the week, any day of the year. to be with family. Hey, how about telling your family how grateful you are? How about telling your family how much you love them, how much they mean to you? Why do we have to have like this one day a year or these few select holidays throughout the year that is the day that is defined that we have to, out of obligation, come out and tell our families, oh, let's all get together and have family woo-ha, It just is very strange to me. It's very foreign to me. I think if you love somebody, if you love your family, well, you just tell them. If you want to have dinner with your family, you call them up and say, hey, come over, we're having dinner, whatever. And I understand traveling, people are from different states, and so time limits, we can only get together at certain times. And because it's a holiday, people get time off during this time of year. So again, it's all very weird and all very, very foreign to me. But here's what I've been noticing. So, and not just with customers that come into my store. My husband and I were at the store the other day, and it was crazy. This was yesterday, actually. It was yesterday. I had to pick up some milk. And I mean, I really stood back and I just observed. I listened, and I was, I wasn't there, but I was observing and watching and listening. And out of everything, this is what I heard. I heard anger. I heard frustration. I heard obligation. I heard resentment. I heard people talking about family members in a very ungrateful way. They weren't really grateful that the family was coming over. At least they weren't expressing it there. I've heard things like, oh, so-and-so said they're coming and now they're not coming, and I don't care, screw them, if they don't want to come, then don't come, blah, 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 blah. I mean, wow, that is not grateful. That is not being grateful. That is not gratitude. That is not Thanksgiving. It's not. And I hear that more than, and see that more than I hear, oh, I'm so excited, I'm so grateful, my family's coming and we're all going to be together, and it's just, we don't get to see each other, and oh, we're just so excited. I mean, you do hear that occasionally, you do. I'm not saying that everybody is mean and spiteful at this time of the year, but you hear more so, you hear the moaning and groaning of these family gathering types of years or holidays, and it's really upsetting to me, because I mean, I just feel like, gosh, yeah, I don't know, if we're so grateful and we're so loving of our families, and then I'm assuming that we think our families are grateful for us and are all loving of us. But then when our spiritual path comes out, all of a sudden, oh, no, it's not. Like, no, it's not. What do you mean you're not celebrating Thanksgiving? It's sacrilege or whatever. Even though it's not a religious holiday, you would think that it was. I mean, you totally would think that it was. So while I was out there today, I actually wasn't going to do a video this week. I personally do not celebrate Thanksgiving. Now, I don't have any family. My family is all gone now, and I don't have children. It is just my husband and I, and his family doesn't live here. And it's not a big to-do, it's just not. Now, I don't particularly like to cook, and I'm not a great cook anyway. I'm not even a good cook. And so, and it's just me and him. And here's the other thing. I don't even like Thanksgiving food. Like I'm not a big fan of turkey. It's very gamey to me. It tastes kind of gamey. So I don't really like it. I do not like yams or sweet potatoes or sweet potato pie. I do not like green bean casserole. I love green beans, but I don't like green bean mushy casserole. Green bean mushy casserole. I don't like green bean casserole. I think it's nasty. Here on the East Coast, now coming from Southern California, I don't know if we just never, if we don't have collards in California, but I never heard of collards until we moved to the East Coast. Southern East Coast is a Southern thing, I guess. I don't know, but let me tell you, they're nasty. I did try them. I tried them, and they are nasty. I've tried them several ways. Oh, you'll love the way I make my recipe. I'm like, no, I don't. So I don't like collards. What else did I say? Yams, candied yams. I don't like that. I don't like stuffing. And whatever that stuff is in a can that's red that says cranberry sauce. If that's not some funky GMO Monsanto funk, I don't know what is, but I'm not touching that stuff. Like they grew that in a lab or something. But I do like cranberries, and I like homemade cranberry sauce. I do like cranberries, and I like the cranberry sauce that you make. I don't like pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't like anything pumpkin per se. I don't like any of your pumpkin coffees or teas. I'm not a big fan of cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves. I don't like cloves. I don't like whipped cream. And I will eat a piece of like a pumpkin muffin, or a pumpkin loaf cake or something like that. Small piece of that. But I don't know. So the bottom line is I don't like traditional Thanksgiving Day food. Therefore, since it's just my husband and myself, I'm not making any. I do not cook for Thanksgiving. Now there was a time that we would be invited over to friends' house. This was years ago, and have Thanksgiving dinner. And I will tell you that this was a very, very awkward time for me. And I don't know. I thought that I would do the right thing. I wanted to be with our friends, but their families were there, very strong Christian family, and my friend, by the way, is not pagan, but like-minded-ish and accepting of. So it was no big deal. We never had that. But of course, the family didn't know. And so then here I come, the black sheep. And by the way, I think I've told you in videos, my husband's not like-minded, but he's very supportive. He doesn't care one way or the other. And but he's I'm just going to say he's not pagan, and he's not religious either. So anyway, so two awkward things for me when I went to these invitations to other people's feasts for Thanksgiving. Three things. One is I, as a pagan, celebrate my Thanksgiving at how I pronounce Mabon. Some people pronounce it Mabon. We've already been over all of that. I actually prefer and refer to it more often than not as Harvest Home. That's the second harvest. I've already celebrated that. I've already had the pagan Thanksgiving. I've already done that, minus the Thanksgiving Day food, but it was a feast. My group and our class, we always have ritual for Mabon, and my classes, they are told about that it is the pagan Thanksgiving, because that's basically what it is. It's the second harvest, and your foods would be your traditional Thanksgiving Day foods. What you would see pretty much on the table now is what they would have if they were blessed enough and the crops did well. That's what they would have for their second harvest. So I've already done that. Not only that, but Samhain has already passed. Like, we've already had Samhain. right? I mean, so like that's already passed, and now we're having this Thanksgiving thing. So not that I'm not grateful, because I definitely am. I'm grateful that there is still enough food on the tables to provide for everyone that you're cooking for. I think that's fantastic, and I think that we should be grateful and thankful to Mother Earth for providing us the nutrients that our soil needs so that we can have the crops, to the farmers for their agricultural skills, turkey farmers, whatever kind of farmers, whatever you eat at Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for those that provide those foods so that we can have them for our meals. But I personally don't celebrate it. So, however, I would go to the Thanksgiving Day feast with the friends, and their families were there. And so then the second awkward thing was when we're sitting there and the foods are being passed, I'm literally just passing the bowl because I don't like that. I'm grateful, but I don't like that. And then I'm looking at this table full of family members going, now they think I'm ungrateful or I'm being picky or, whatever. But it's not that. I don't like that kind of food. So why am I even sitting at this table? I mean, it was really awkward. I felt, it was terrible. I was so uncomfortable. The third awkward thing is, let's bow our heads and pray. Okay, well, like I said, Christian family, I actually don't have a problem with prayer. If someone says let's bow our head and pray, if it's for a good cause, in this particular case, let's give thanks to God for providing this food or whatever. Okay, those are your words. I can go inside and I can give my own thanks within. I'm grateful to have been at least invited to this function. I am grateful for the food that is in front of me, that I have an opportunity to eat should I want to. I am grateful to Mother Earth for providing the nutrients. I'm grateful to Father Son for providing his nutrients. I'm grateful for those types of things. So the prayer, it is awkward. It's just awkward. But I can get through that without going, oh my God, and then we had prayer. As long as it doesn't go on and on and on, which it didn't. It was your basic prayer for food, I guess, or Thanksgiving, whatever. But one of the things that is bugging me the most about this time of year is the ungratefulness. The moaning and the groaning that I have to have this. I'm the one that has to cook this year. I have to cook for all these people. So-and-so doesn't want to come. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, why can't you just say, I really don't want to do this? I mean, this just isn't, everybody bring your own, let's have a potluck. I mean, it would just be so much easier, because when I was at the store, I heard anger and just the resentment and the didn't want to be doing this. That was not gratitude, and that was not being grateful, and that was, it was just really like resenting the fact that you had to do this. It would be really nice if everyone could just come out and say, look, I love you for who you are, and I really don't care what you practice. If if the Christian path is your path and that is what fulfills you and makes you happy, I'm all about it. This is my path, and this is what makes me happy. And although I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I would love to get together. Let's have a potluck. I'll bring something that I want to bring. Let's get together and have friendship. Let's change Thanksgiving Day to Friendship Day. Let's change it to, let's get together and have a potluck day or something like that. Because really, the resentment and the anger at Thanksgiving, watch the news, turn on the news. Those people that are traveling in the airports. Their planes are delayed because there's bad weather everywhere. They've already made their reservations. They're stuck. Maybe they had to take another plane. They're stuck. They can't get there. They're mad. They're angry. The people that's cooking is mad. They're angry. It's a very, very stressful, frustrating time of year. And most people end up not being grateful for that. And so, I don't know. I decided to make the video because I was outside rejoicing in this warm day because it's been pretty cold. Haven't been outside in a couple of weeks, I don't think. So it's been pretty nice out today. I've been outside, fresh air. It's warm enough to be outside, watching my horse, walking around, enjoying all the trees. Happy Thanksgiving to me. That's what I'm grateful for. So I hope if you have to do the festivities that you can reach deep inside of you and really figure out what gratefulness means to you and what gratitude means to you. And if it's family and having family together, then do it with a smile and do it with love instead of anger at the grocery store and honking horns, in the parking lots because people are taking their time or, whatever. So with that being said, I'm going to end this. I talked a little bit longer than I had planned. Next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit about candle magic. I know I've already talked about it. This is going to be a little bit different because tomorrow is the dark moon, which I celebrate heavily, and I have a little something planned that I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to talk about that next Monday. So I think, hopefully. All right. So anyway, I wish you well, and I wish you gratitude, and I hope. And I wish you great, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful. I'll be grateful if you subscribe to my channel and maybe leave a comment and maybe watch one of my other videos. All right. So until that time, have a great week. Enjoy, and I'll see you next week. Bye.